What is a dominant diminished as opposed to diminished? Great question mark. We're talking about scales here. Those are basically the two types of diminished scales that you have, or the so-called octatonic scale. That's the same as the diminished scale. You basically have two types of octatonic scales. Because we know that the diminished is a symmetrical entity that repeats itself after the minor third. If it goes in minor thirds, which means you have, let's say, if you are in C diminished, right? C diminished would be this. Right? And the structure, the pacing of which the scale happens, it's one of those so-called modes of limited transpositions because it repeats itself after the minor third. If you take C major, for example, as an example, the structure of a major diatonic scale, which means whole, half, whole, half. That whole, whole, half, whole, half. That structure can't be replicated if you rotate that scale. So if I start C major as a D, I have whole and half, so it's not the same as whole, half. And then I go to E, then I have half already. So no matter how much I try rotating the scale, that particular organization of half and whole steps will only happen when I repeat the mode again on C. So you have a full transposition available from C to C, which means between C and C, it doesn't repeat, structure doesn't repeat itself. But there are scales that doesn't happen. They're limited transposition because they repeat themselves early on the game, if you will. And the diminished is one of them. Let's just investigate this. So if I have C, the diminished sound, as you know, is whole, half, whole, half, whole, half. Why? Because you have this whole step, then I have half step. Then I have whole step, another half step, whole step, and that's how it goes. So that means that from C I have the structure whole, half, and then from the second note I have a different structure. So cool, so I have half and whole, right? If I start from here, I have a different organization. I have half and whole, cool. But once I got to the third note of the scale, in this case a minor third, check it out, whole, half, the whole thing repeats itself. Whole, half, it's repeated. So this is a limited transposition mode, and that's why we only, and by the way, that other note here is also the second is also a diminished sound, right? But you only have two types then. That's why we call the octatonic scale has just two types. And what we call diminished scale is that first one, whole, half, right? That's what we have. And we call dominant diminished the other one that has a half whole, like. So that's what it is. It can be used in different fashions in chords, dominant chords or diminished chords, or if you, let's say, go to a dominant chord, flat 9, 13, let's say, on wave, there was opportunity here, say. This one, I will probably play the regular diminished one, the whole half, like. Right? But here, that's the dominant diminished. I'm using a D dominant diminished because I'm doing half, whole, half, half, whole, and then it goes. So I'm using the other one here, like dominant flat 9, 13. That's a great choice for that scale. And it's also symmetrical, so I can do that here, or it's all the same sound, which is great. So that's what it is, Mark.